So who remembers what a word, two words that sound the same but have different meanings are called? Lily? Homonyms. Very good. So, and most of the homonyms on the board, actually all of the homonyms on the board that we're going to use are pronouns. So I'm going to put the chart on the TV. And let's go ahead and do our pronouns song. Ready?
I, you, he, she, it, we, they, me, you, him, her, it, us, them, my, mine, yours, his, hers, it's ours, theirs.
Very good. So you have to use them properly. We've been talking about subjective pronouns. Raise your hand. Where do you use a subjective pronoun in a sentence? Carver. In the subject, right? Makes sense. What about an objective pronoun? In the predicate. Good. And then a possessive pronoun. What is a possessive pronoun? Caleb?
It's like, this desk is mine.
Right. Very good. Okay, it's showing ownership. So, look at the board, and I'm going to have some of you come up and choose the correct word. So, the dog tugged at its leash. Now think. And I'll tell you what, a lot of adults struggle with this. Okay, I find, and I'm not saying I don't make mistakes either, but I find a lot of mistakes that adults make using the wrong words here. So, this its is what? First raise your hand. What is this its? I-T-S. Abby? Right, look at our chart. It's a possessive pronoun. And what is this its? Emily?
It is.
Right, it's the contraction for it is. So, do the test. Would it make sense to say it is here? So, who thinks they know the answer for this? Marshall? Okay, why don't you circle the correct answer? The dog tugged at its leash. Would we use the possessive pronoun or the contraction? Very good. Very good. So what's the dog possessing? Here. It's what?
Leash.
Leash. Okay. Next one. You're walking in the mud. Think about the yours. What is this your? This is a possessive. Okay. This is a possessive pronoun, and then this your is the contraction for you are. So think of it as being you are. All right, Zeke. Is it you're walking in the mud or you're walking in the mud? Good. Because if we do the test and we say you are walking in the mud, then that makes sense. Okay, what about their coats are in the hall? All right, Olivia. Very good, because we need a possessive pronoun, okay? Their coats. Would it make sense to say they are coats are in the hall?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't. Next one, it's starting to rain. It's always hard to pick. All right, Caleb. Very good, because we need to use a contraction. It is starting to rain. Don't drop your book. Tess. Very good. So, what is your possessing? The book, right? And then they're not on time, Abby. Very good. They are not on time. Excellent. Okay? So, you know which word especially seems to get people is your. Okay? When they should write the contraction you are, a lot of times I see this. Okay? But you're smart. You're going to use the right one. Okay, go ahead and turn in your book to page 69. Oh, I'm sorry, 97. I was looking at the wrong thing. 97. Okay, at the top it says, remember, don't be confused by these words. It's, it is, and then it's the possessive. And then you are, and you're the possessive. Okay, and it gives you a list of some other things. Also the theirs. There's 3 theirs to remember. You've got the contraction there, which stands for they are. You have the possessive there, which is showing ownership. And then you have the there showing position. Okay, so like Jonathan is sitting over there. Okay, so make sure you use the correct there. And then also something that we didn't talk about, but it's pretty easy to think about. What is a compound anything? What's compound mean? Olivia?
Compound means like if you put 2 or more things and combine them.
Right, so you can have a compound noun. You can have a compound verb, meaning there's 2 verbs in the sentence. Put that away. A compound, and we're going to see a compound pronoun. Okay, now compound pronoun is a pronoun joined with self or self. So look at the examples, and they use Bible verses. How about Paige? Can you read the first one for Matthew 27:3?
He that humble himself shall be exalted.
Good. So you see how they took the pronoun him and they added self. So that's a compound pronoun. And then Alex, read the next verse, Philippians 2:3. Lowliness.
Lowliness of mind, let
Esteem.
others better than themselves.
Right, so you put other people before yourself. So himself and themselves. Do not say his self. That's not correct. And also don't say their selves. It's himself, and then you would say themselves. Okay? So for Think A, we're going to complete each sentence by writing the correct your. So if I say, what's the answer, and you say your, well, tell me which one. So you're going to have to spell it. So number 1, William, you're going to be as tall as your mother soon, said Grandma. So what's the first your? Emmanuel.
You are?
Right, the contraction. So Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. That's the first blank. Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. And then what about the second your, Grace? Correct. So how do we spell that?
Y-O-U-R.
Right. Your mother. If you use a possessive pronoun, you should be able to see what it's possessing, what it's owning. Number 2, your cat scared herself when she walked by the mirror, Addie laughed as she told Aunt Susan. So Owen, what your would we put in that blank?
Y-O-U-R.
Right.
And capitalize the Y.
Correct, because it's the first word of the sentence. Okay, number 3. Andrew whispered to his Bible verse to himself, 1 Peter 5:7, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Carver, which your is in the blank?
It's not you are, it's your, not you are.
Right.
Y-O-U.
Y-O-U-R. So possessive your care. Possessive pronoun. Okay. Now we're gonna switch and now we're gonna do its. So tell us which is the correct its. Number 1, the cotton tree of Liberia is known for its enormous size. Abby.
ITS.
Good. So we're gonna use the pronoun ITS. Okay, please. Let's not be drawing all over our books, because that means we're not really filling in the blanks. Number 2, it's not related to the cotton plant itself at all. Maya? It's not related.
Capitalize the items for the sentence and IT apostrophe.
Right, so
S.
right, if you do the test and say it is not related to the cotton plant. Number 3, some of its uses include food, soap, and light. Emily.
ITS.
Right. Just the pronoun its. And then number 4, it's not unusual for the cotton tree to reach up to 200 feet tall. Wow. Grace.
The contraction.
Right. It is. So, IT apostrophe S. All right. And then for think C, complete each sentence by writing there, or there. So number 1, we already know the blank answers is there. We just have to spell it correctly. They're going to Arizona for their vacation. Lily, what would be the first blank? Which there would we write?
They are.
Okay, so the contraction there, right? So capital THEY apostrophe RE. Contraction there. And then the second blank, Abby?
THEIR.
Good. Their vacation. So we won. Because it's their vacation. They own the vacation, technically. And then number 2, a quarter is lying on the floor over there. Tess.
THERE.
Yes. Number 3, Diego and Lucia said that they're building a tree fort for themselves. Marshall.
They are.
No. Tell me, not they, don't tell me they are, tell me which they're. Contraction, right? Yeah, contraction there. THEY apostrophe RE. Everybody get all the answers?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to go back up to the top of the page and we're going to find and circle the 4 compound pronouns on this page. So, who can find one of the compound pronouns? Carver?
The first one we did,
That's not a compound pronoun. That's a contraction, but it's not one word. Okay, remember what we talked about adding self or selves makes a compound pronoun? Jonathan?
Himself. Herself on the second.
Okay, so up at the top on number 2, it says, your cat scared herself. So that's a compound pronoun. So circle herself. And then what's the next one? Olivia?
himself, and number 3.
Right. And then Abby, do you see another one?
Itself and think B number 2.
Good. So talking about the cotton plant itself. So circle itself. And then the last one, Grace.
Themselves.
Right. Right. Think C number 3, themselves. Okay, and then the last thing, we're going to mark the sentence, and then we're going to diagram. Yay.
Just one sentence.
So, for this one, it's the Mano River and the Moro River form parts of Liberia's borders. So first we're going to mark it. How are we going to mark our sentence? Page. What's the subject? What's the verb? Okay, so divide after Moro River. That's our.
Underlines Mano River and Moro River.
Okay, so there are subjects, right? And what's the verb?
Form.
Good. And I'm gonna call one lucky fourth grader to come up and diagram. And I'm not gonna draw the frame. Owen. Can you do it right here? All right, everyone else, do it in your book. So you've got compound subject and one verb. Okay, what is this? Okay, remember how you do it? Yep, Owen's got the frame correct. Set up for two subjects. Mhm. Good job. Okay, you're gonna have to leave some of you wrote really, really short lines, so you don't have much room to write your subject. I get to put the smiley face if you got it right. Okay, Mano River, Moro River, form. Very good. I put a heart. Because I love correct diagrams. Okay, I'd like for you can close your book if you want, or you can leave it open. I'm going to give you a quiz.